Okay, so I'm making this video for a couple students who reached out to me for some advice before high school, but I think it might be useful for more than just those students. So here's one bit of feedback that I'm hearing and observing, and it's also expected. Some people are just taking clipped quotes and dropping them into their essays without any particular rhyme or reason, and the result is that the student feels like they're including a lot of evidence from the text, but the reader's experience is that there's very little analysis going on, and that's not ideal. What's happening is sometimes when an essay is not working, what's happening is um, a lot of quotes are used from the text, but basically it's just kind of like a summary of the story or a summary of an idea in the story. And that's not quite the same thing as an analytical paper. So I want to review the initial context where we talked about clip quotes in analytical essays. So here's a familiar piece from last year that we looked at. And this was a comparative analysis of two texts, but that's not important because the same rules would hold if it was just one text. So before we look at the paragraph, let's just look at the preparation that went into such paragraph. Okay, so if you were doing a close reading, and that's what this student was doing, a close reading, you're marking up the text, you're taking a lot of annotations on the page, you're looking for patterns. So let's take a look at this, for example. These are a bunch of notes, a bunch of direct quotes, all dealing with the concept of imagery. More specifically, the student was analyzing the writer's use of imagery in terms of how the imagery affected the. This writer found a lot of stuff in a very short poem, and she wanted to use most of this stuff somehow. So one way to pack a lot of evidence, a lot of textual evidence, details from the text into a paragraph is through like the clipped quote method. This part is important. She had to draw a conclusion first, so make a claim about the evidence that she collected. Right here, this is the claim part. And this, according to her, is true because of all this stuff. So here's how it looks in the actual essay. And ignore this topic sentence because it's a comparative analysis essay. If it was just a one text essay, the topic sentence would start here. It might be phrased somewhat differently, but the concept would be the same. Okay, so this paragraph is being controlled by this claim. So this is different than simple summarizing of the story because this whole entire section and all the quotes in it are providing evidence and explanation and justification that this is a good conclusion or a good claim. What I think is happening often after students experience the summer slide and a lot of time elapses is they remember liking the technique of using clipped quotes because you can put a lot of evidence into a small amount of space, as we see right here. But they forget this part. That the evidence is forming a pattern, so to speak, that supports a particular claim or a particular idea. It is an analytical claim. There's a lot of thinking that has taken place to get from here to here. What you don't want to do is just throw a lot of quotes into an essay. Now, this was one method that is kind of common when you hit this 11th grade honors level. A more typical method in 8th grade, 9th grade even, it's very standard, traditional, like 5-paragraph essay. And if you just simply like Google 5-paragraph essay, 5-paragraph literary essay, something like that, you'll get generally a bunch of resources that are similar. Some of them are more basic, like this one. Some of them are quite lengthy. This one. But this one's interesting because we have somebody who is able to insert a lot of clipped quotes and do a pretty good job of explaining the significance. It's somewhat basic, but it works very well. Okay, so there's one other thing I wanted to point out. This is very similar in high school, where there's some sort of opening that is designed to bring readers out of their regular everyday thoughts and into the general vicinity of your topic. One thing this student did was she added another little wrinkle, which was create a problem, introduce a problem, and then tell us that her essay is going to provide an answer to that problem. So this is something you might not get taught in high school, but it's a nice little trick. One thing you will experience in high school is really good lessons on developing different types of thesis statements and evaluating the quality of thesis statements. In 8th grade, we didn't take a ton of time on that. Just the curriculum isn't set up that way. You're going to develop that a lot. So you'll learn different techniques and sort of tricks for how to use a thesis statement in a way that allows your reader to not really be confused or wonder what the point is, etc. So, but this is a trick that you can always take with you, that sort of broad thoughts, bring your reader to the topic in general, and then presenting a problem of some sort, and then saying, well, yeah, that's a problem, but my analysis is going to present at least one answer to that problem. So it's kind of nice you create a reason for your essay to exist by introducing a problem and then presenting your essay as one possible answer. So I hope this helps in some way, but the basics are, it's sort of intro, a little background, text, the authors, some sort of thesis and reason for the thesis to exist. And if it's a 5-paragraph essay, clear topic sentences, nice transitions between paragraphs. Won't necessarily have to go in this order. Quote, analysis of quote, introducing the quote. This is a very solid approach, though, where you set up the quote in some way, lay the quote out, and then basically talk about the significance of it. This is a little more sophisticated, but you're asking the reader to do a little more, because a lot of the analysis is actually in the main claim itself. Let me know if this helps, and if it's useful in some way, I'll try to make a different version of this video that's shorter and more refined and to the point. But if this is doing anything useful, or if you have more questions, just let me know. Okay, thanks.